Not come on, Visual Studio. Why are you freezing on me? Actually, our game instance is gonna have like. We'll just throw a dedicated server options structure on here. Alright, we'll set it to true. We're going to pass in the address to dedicated server options, and the serialization utility is going to return true or false. So if this equals false, then we're going to say infolog, we were unable to load our server config, and then we're going to quit the game. That's a good way to trigger quit. Yeah, it's just request exit. Yeah, so Dashkin game utils quit application. Alright, we're gonna say loading server config from there. Alright, let's build that and I'll test it just to make sure I can load all the data. And I'm probably going to have to stop streaming here. I'm just kind of wiped out. So we kind of need to, I think on the game instance, we'll add a lot of options that'll pull from either command line overrides or the server dedicated options. And we'll have to change things to reference, I think, the game instance as opposed to the global command line configuration stuff, just to make it cleaner. Which should be pretty simple, to be honest. Or I could just have this thing set the command line overrides specifically. This is so stupid though. I'd rather have a few actual well-defined functions of like get override port as opposed to something else. I just gotta wait for all this to compile. The most boring stream of all time. Watching progress bars. Well, let's start it up and see what happens. Alright, looks like it was unable to load. Did it say why? Or unable to load? Looks like we forgot a comma. And then it just crashes? Great. I guess you can't call quit application from inside of a constructor. Okay, so let's take a look at our dedicated server options. We have my game name 300-5777-7787 listed publicly and allow Team Swamp both as true. Excellent. That is what we wanted. Alright. So what I think we're going to want to do is add in some public static methods for accessing game information overrides on this thing. Alright, so we're going to want the static f-string get game name. Well, let me think. I think we just want this for a few things. Like, we just want it for think the beacon port. It's probably enough, and then we want to has server config and a get server config function. Alright, so let's fill these functions out. Alright, so if stance is null, we're just gonna return default server options, which is gonna be a whole bunch of trash. Otherwise, we're gonna return a copy of our dedicated server options. If stance is null, return false, return stance dedicated server options. Alright, so for this, we're going to want to check our dedicated server port. To see where that is. I think it's in our net driver. Well, let's look for Alright, so this should, if we have a command line override specifically, we'll use that. If we don't have a command line override, we're going to see if we have a server config. So if we have server config, then we're going to grab the server config. So if we'll do the same thing here. Basically check if it's actually a reasonable thing and return it. Otherwise, we'll just return our default, which is 7777. Hello, Rise. Song. No, I am not also the animator. I am the engineer, so I didn't do any of the pretty cool things. You know, I didn't draw any of this stuff. I just make all the stuff actually work. So this is getting the game port, so we need to get the beacon port next. Alright. So it's going to be this thing here. And 787 is going to be our default. We're looking for the beacon port. Alright, cool. So we got that. So let's look everywhere for this card. You're a programmer and an artist, so you appreciate both. Well, sir, you are more talented than I am. My art looks like trash compared to Adam. Let me see. Like, this is my art. Just some big stupid brawler dude. Did I freeze this thing? Like, Adam will draw stuff and it'll look cool like actual amazing looking things. Let's see, Dashkin import characters. You're bad at math, so you're better as an artist. Why is this getting all pissed off? Static type must be class. What did I screw up here? Like, that's just static get game port. Blueprint assignable. Oh yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm just copy pasting crap that without reading it. Your art does not look too bad though. Yeah, well, that sort of stuff, I did that in Flash, and exported like the whole character sheet and all that stuff. I think that took me like a whole day to draw all that crap, and I made it all grayscale because I can't do anything right, and it's all stupid. Versus Adam, who's got just like all this crazy crap. Which I'll pop open the editor in a second and show you how many animations he's put all these things through. Yeah, but he'll like draw something like this, and it's like nothing. Yeah, we switched over to using Toon Boom Harmony as opposed to Flash. Adam's been using Harmony for forever now. So it's pretty funny. I could draw some stuff in Flash, but like I can't draw anything in Toon Boom because the program is like it's like when you first start trying to do 3D modeling in like 3ds Max or Maya, and you're just like, I don't even know what keyboard does. You hit a button, the view changes, you don't know what you did, and then you just close the program. Yeah, exactly. These are just chroma keys basically, so we're replacing like green with a different color in game so we can have customizable character colors, stuff like that. Kind of all of them together, we have, you know, a character is made up of kind of the diffuse, and then we got the normals for the sprites. And then we also got we've got the emissive layers as well for everything. So we can glow the eyes and make the eyes a different color. And we'll probably do some more specific color mapping stuff. Do you have beta coming out or early access? Actually, yeah, we're in early access at the moment. We launched the game just a couple of weeks ago on the 24th of last year. So the game is out right now, and you can play it. There's probably not very many people actually online at the moment. I can actually log in and find out. Yeah, it looks like nobody's online at the moment, but we've got these like official dedicated servers up. We've got 2 maps, and it's kind of a multiplayer soccer game. And I make it look easy, but it's actually pretty darn hard to score. And it's 3v3 and all that, so it can get pretty crazy. This better be optimized for Switch. Yeah, we're definitely going to be trying to get this out on multiple platforms. Right now it's a PC exclusive, but if there's any console we're going to release on, it's going to be the Switch. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like just a couple days ago on stream, we got 20 people into one game, and it was just a madhouse. Because you can punch each other all the time. Where am I based? Well, I'm based out of the West Coast, so I'm in like Washington State. But our servers are all over the place. We got servers in Australia, Virginia, Oregon, Germany. So the game can be played from anywhere with good ping. Alright, so what we want to do now is start replacing things. So we want to get our beacon port. Alright, beacon host listening on port. Alright, we've got that. Any other places where we're actually using this? Just there. Alright, good. You should show up at UK's biggest gaming festival. You go there, and indies get in free if chosen. So what is the UK's biggest? Is that the Insomnia Game Festival? It's on the 30th of March. Ah, Jesus. Yeah, I'm going to be going to GDC this year, which I think is literally the exact same time as this. Yeah, GDC goes from like the 27th to the 30th. So I'm going to be in San Francisco going to GDC during that time. So, and we're actually getting Adam to fly over to the States. The artist, Adam Phillips, is based over in Australia. So he's a little bit distant. We'll actually get him over to hang out sometime. Alright, so we're going to get the game options. Level path is map path. Bunch of people you're meeting in Insomnia? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I haven't really gone to a bunch of specific gaming festivals. It's really been just working on projects for companies and going to GDC a few times. Mainly just to meet people. Alright, so this is on Connect. So this is specifically for like a dedicated game server. Map path are... Does our server config actually have a map path? No. We should add one. Let's see, this is going to be has server config. We're going to solo project Rit just now. You're helping on a new game with the programmer from Binding of Isaac. It's like Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, Rebirth, Redux, Revision 55, Kill God Again edition. Nah, it's a new game. Awesome. Well, that's cool. Sure, you guys working in... What engine are you working in? I don't really know too much about the tech for Binding of Isaac, but I think it was like a bunch of Flash stuff or whatever. So, at least it looks like it with the art. Alright, so if we have our server config, we need to get our map. So, get server map. Let's make that function. Yeah, Flash CS6, yeah. Squids invading the Earth, it's in Unity. Awesome. Yeah, we picked Unreal 4 because I can rip open the engine and do a bunch of stuff with it that we didn't want to pay for with Unity or whatever. And Adam liked Unreal 4 from working with Riot a bit. ActionScript 2. Jesus. That sounds like a pretty painful experience. I mean, I worked on Dragon Age Legends back in the day for Facebook, and that was in like ActionScript 3 for the client. And even then, it was painful working in ActionScript. That's what you still use. It's horrible. Yeah, ouch. Alright, I need to go to game data. Let's just do our string. This is going to be map path. What is the path for our maps? Yeah, it's like game test level sunny day. Alright, so that'll load that up. Yeah, when I quit my job at Amazon, and I started doing indie stuff last year, and I started working in. I was using Flash for like the UI and all the art, and then I was using Unity for all the rendering in the game and all that. You don't have to pay to get a decent exe out of it. Nice. And that worked out pretty well. Like we definitely had to go and do some exploration with, well, should we use Unity or Unreal? And we kind of went down to Unreal just because of reasons. We both wanted to learn it, and all that. And like lighting was a big deal for Adam. He's like, I want all the lighting and particle systems that Unreal has. And I'm like, fine. Otherwise, if we were using Unity, I think we'd probably be done with the game if we were using Unity. But I don't think the game would be as complicated. We'd be done because of other reasons. Because it would have been like, well, that's all we can really do. I think, though. Alright, so we want the level path to be Dashkin game instance. We want to get server map. And then we want the ops.game port to be get game port. Server name is going to be get server config. And that's going to be dot game name. So game port, max players, score to win. Do I not have the game? Where are we setting the game name for this damn thing? Hey Sonocron, welcome back. I'm just noodling around with configurations for local game servers. So let's see. We've got the game name. I need to set the game name. Where the hell do we even set the damn game name? It's going to be in the game mode where we actually fetch it. It's in the ops? I thought I just looked at that and saw that it wasn't there. Yeah, this is all a bunch of garbage. Game info. No, it's in game data, isn't it? Yeah, there's totally a game name. IntelliSense, stop being a pain in the ass. Yeah, well, it really depends. Like, some people have done some really cool stuff with Unity, like City Skylines. You know, it's a big SimCity game. That's all Unity, and I think that's probably what Sinachron's saying, which is like, well, it might be a little bit of a confirmation bias of like, well, they picked Unity because they didn't want to deal with a whole bunch of complicated shit to make everything look good. Otherwise, they would have picked something like CryEngine or Unreal 4. So it just tends to have people who just want Unity to do Unity things, and that'd be it. Alright, so this is going to be has server config. It's going to do this whole thing and start hosting nicely. So we'll get the server map, we'll get the game port, we'll get that, we'll get it set. Alright, so we also want ops score to win is going to be, let's actually get our server config here. And we'll just fill this stuff out. So do we have a separate 3D artist, or is the main artist doing that as well? Yeah, the main artist is the only artist, and he does the 2D stuff and the 3D stuff. He's been doing a lot of learning on the 3D stuff. He's a 2D animator by trade. He's, if you don't know Adam Phillips by reputation with, he does all the Bitey of Brackenwood Flash movies and all that stuff. You may have seen those back in the day on Newgrounds. He's also the assistant director of Bob's Burgers, and they use Toon Boom for all that. So he's learning the 3D stuff. And as for game modes, we'll see. There's a lot we can do with a ball and goal sort of game. So we'll probably be doing a lot of that sort of stuff before we exhaust it. Like the classic game of all humanity is. Oh, nice. Yeah, the classic game of all of humanity is something that involves a ball, a goal, and something. Like a person hitting that ball with themselves, other people, or blunt instruments. So we probably won't have other game modes initially that are not some form of ball and goal, but we can do a lot, like make the ball huge or small, or put more of them in there, or let people punch each other in the face or not punch each other in the face. So I'll be experimenting with that sort of stuff, I believe, to start with. Alright, so score to win. Let's see, this is max players. Let's see. Local only equals listed publicly. Use custom. It's going to be false. And allow team swap. It's going to be server ops. Allow team swap. Score to win, team size max. We didn't get time limit. So match length seconds. Time limit should do that. Yeah, it should be team size max. Alright, let's get that. Try more. Each team can only move every 3 seconds, turn-based. The whole game is like super ridiculously fast. That is one of the things that might be really funny. Would be to make everything super slow and just see what happens. Like make the ball like super fat and huge, and then people have to like slowly walk over and punch it. Shit like that. But one of the things with Dashkin and Bitey is he's super fast, and the game needs to have a lot of motion in it. Otherwise, it kind of is not true to the spirit of Brackenwood and all that. Alright, so I need server map. Alright, so I need to look up the platform manager. Alright, so the server map can be overridden if we have this argument passed on the command line. That is the highest priority. Otherwise, if we have server configs, we're going to return server config. Otherwise, we're just going to return. What should we return? We'll just return empty text, because we got nothing after that. What about the beacon host? Alright, so we got get beacon port. It's always 7787 unless it's overridden, which is fine. Yeah, we definitely want to have a bunch of stuff, but we'll see how much we actually get done. When you're only a 2-person shop, or 2 1/4 or 2 1/2 or whatever the hell we are right now, there's only so much you can get done. Especially Adam, the artist, is not really full time. Like he's assistant director on Bob's Burgers, and that's a full-time job. So he pretty much just works weekends and whenever he can. So it's not a simple thing. So on this command line, this thing should go ahead and start hosting a sunny day immediately when I log in inside of the editor. So I'll just see if that works. No, that's totally what we're going to be doing. You'll be able to change a lot of custom parameters, and that's what I'm working on right now. Is that customers can host their own dedicated servers with their own options and their own rules, stuff like that. So, we've got the official servers, which are going to have kind of the standard game modes, and that's about it. And then, people can go host their own if they want with, crazy, ridiculous settings that, maybe just completely break the game. Like, unlimited numbers of players, 50,000 balls, and, there is no time limit. Turn it on, so I don't know, we'll see. But the idea is hopefully we can get a game that the community can keep going. So, like, even if all of our stuff shut down, there'll still be a lot of fun things that people find. Because I remember one of my favorite things about like old Unreal Tournament and stuff like that is you could always find somebody's custom server where they just screwed up all the weapons, so they did all sorts of crazy shit. Will there be bots? Yes, there are already bots. You can play with bots offline at the moment. We do not have it so that we do not have it so that the dedicated servers spin up bots yet. That's going to be coming in the next week or so. Yeah, that'll probably be in the next update, which is at the end of this month. Yeah, dedicated server commands, dedicated server command UI, and level transition stuff. So you'll be able to get all that in there. Giant bots mode. That would be one thing to do, would be to like allow custom character types. Where it'd be like red team is giants. Blue team is like tiny little midget people. And these red guys just smash you across the whole map. Blue team can't do shit. You wouldn't be able to score if you're some gigantic dude trying to like get this tiny ball into this tiny hole. You're just like, God damn, get in there. My fist is too big. Yeah, it was one of the nice things when I was using Flash for Unity was I was able to like Flash is at least set up so you can programmatically interface with everything, so you can write like JSFL scripts and export everything nicely. But with Toon Boom, it's all like set up for animators, so all of its scripting is total crap. Like I wanted to get the size of a sprite in pixels, and it's like nah, best we can do is animation units. I'm just like, what the fuck is an animation unit? It's like, well, it's based on the area of the object. I'd be like, wait, so it's arbitrary? A 1 could be a 1, or it could be not a 1. It's like, yeah, it's based on how you'd have your animators fill out cells and then pay them. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm trying to export sprite sheets. It's not helpful. Alright, so this should go through, and once it's finished logging in, it should load the level. And you hate Toon Boom? Oh god, I changed all the controls. I forgot. Jesus Christ. There we go. Yeah, so these are the bots. You can beat the crap out of them. Get over here, you bastard. Get wrecked. The bots are ignoring the ball and just running after each other. Ah, fucker. Ah, bastard. Fuck. Get off of me. And I am nowhere near as good at these new controls. Ah, there we go. Is he hard coded to 100 pixels? He's not hard coded to 100 pixels. Like, we got their entity here. And he's 170 pixels tall and 1.5 meters tall, so it uses that kind of reference to scale the sprite sheet properly. You paint the map. I don't know. A lot of that stuff's like totally baked in Unreal, so we'd have to do a lot of work on the landscape to get that to and do what we want. But not completely out of the question. Basically, you just get a texture probably, and then write to that texture that's mapped across the surface, kind of like you would a height map with height. So you could probably do it, but I don't know. Atoms. I think we got other things we'll be working on first. But this is like how all the animations kind of arrayed, and you can look at all their collisions. And they're all 2D, but in a 3D world, so you can see how all the lighting works. Yeah, it supports decals, but I don't know if I'd want to use too many decals. Like, especially if you're painting something or whatever, right? You kind of want that data in the object instead of just like overlaying two different decals on top of each other or something, you know? That, like, just throwing more blood on the ground is a little bit different than like painting something or something specific. Alright, so we got that quit, we got that working, so our server config should work with this thing now. Alright, so what we're going to want to do is build a dedicated server. It's been a while since I did that here. Let me see if it still works. Might take a little while to compile. And they all complain about performance, yeah. For this specific game, we started last year. Adam and I officially started working on the project, I think January 2nd of last year. And neither one of us had used Unreal 4 for anything other than, like simple stuff. And we were going to make a single-player game to start with, but we ran into basically problems of like, how do you get a single-player story-driven game to be replayable? You know, like things like Binding of Isaac are, you know, they're light story, you know, but the replayability is basically the game. It's so much crazy random crap that happens during a run that, you know, that works. But you can't, like, there's only so many times you can play through, you know, just a, you know, basically a story-based animation game. You know, if we play it on stream, it'd be like, that's it, guys, I can't play the next level because spoilers, and then once you know the secrets, there's no secrets. Yeah, it's going to compile everything, so I'll be back in just a second. Go refill my water. Oh yeah, this is gonna take. It's gonna take a while. Well, maybe not that long. Yeah, but if you're asking for how long we've been working on the actual multiplayer portion, we switched to... What's it doing? Ah, it's compiling. We switched to the multiplayer portion back in